Welcome, everybody, to Dragon's Tome, issue 23. This is March 1979. I'm Rob.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Chopper.
We're going through every Dragon magazine chronologically. We're at issue 23. Like I said, March 79, Volume 3, Number 9, issue 23. $2 makes you holla. That's not the same anymore. And
it's also my birthday.
$2 is your birthday?
March
23rd?
Well, March in general is my birthday.
This is your, yeah. He just wants to remind us so you send him something. Anyways, it's a paladin with a lady rising from the smoke of her ashes. It looks like maybe a funeral. I'm not sure.
Viking funeral.
Who knows? Who knows what these covers are?
It looks like Foxy Brown anyways.
Foxy.
It is a pastiche of Arthurian legend, I think. There's a little too much water, a little too much sword, a little too much king-looking dude, and a lot of cocaine. So
yes. Well, it is the 70s.
Yeah. That is the thing. It does have a signature, but I cannot tell it is. It's in a red Jewish star, so it is a Jewish man who did this, but I'm not sure who. Or not. Maybe they just like the symbol. Maybe he's a sheriff.
Black Star did this.
I used to love that cartoon.
Yeah, classic.
It is a classic.
There was a Black Star episode that had Sherlock Holmes in it, which was the best thing ever.
I'm zooming in on the star.
I can't imagine.
All I see is a 7. So James Bond did this cover.
007. Yeah. So I'm going to start first because Dragons Rumbles, and this is a hot topic here. We talked about it a little bit. It's the Origin Gate 79.
Strap in.
Origin Gate 79. Okay, here we go. Let's hear it.
So
because I don't read the Dragons Rumbles.
Timothy Cask said that the convention season is fast approaching. But then he goes right into a complaint that Origins has moved to June from July, so it's overshadowing some smaller convention in Michigan that everybody's very popular, I guess, but I think that's just an excuse for him to be angry. And he goes into it that no one wanted to run Origin 79, hence the last time they didn't know what the hell was going on with Origin 79 because nobody wanted to do it. And Origins is run by a bunch of companies, but really it's Avalon Hill and SPI, and they bullied PenCon into running it is Timothy Cask's opinion. So these people from PenCon are now running Origins kind of as an Origin/PenCon. And he goes in to say that Origin was a concept is faulty from the beginning because it's Avalon Hill and SBI think it's their convention. It's for the manufacturers first and the gamers second. Unlike Gen Con, right guys? And they said that these companies are using poor volunteers to further their gains, and they defend the organizers and say that hate should be directed at Avalon Hill and SPI. I smell a war brewing between Avalon Hill, SPI, and TSR. It seems there's some
Mr. Berman and SPI is still seething from the
tongue lashing he took from last.
The editorial. We'll call it an editorial because that's kind of what it was.
Yes.
That, and I think there's truth behind that, because even with the other Origins, they kind of imply that Avalon Hill and SPI were like the men behind it and weren't doing very much for it. Unlike TSR, really supports Gen Con. Like
in the real life, at some point, and I don't know when, Origin does hit dark times from lack of management, and I don't know if this is the beginning of that. Or what? Or
it was always there, it just got worse over time, maybe. But
yeah, like it became the redheaded stepchild of comms.
Yeah, they literally said that they couldn't get anybody to run it because it's you don't make any money. They said that you might make a couple $1,000s, but by the time because they have to share like revenue with all these things, that by the time you do it, you're making nothing for all these volunteers and all these the prize support and all this stuff. And what you do is you just get bad publicity. And he compared it to some Baltimore con where you're like, have you heard of this con anymore? No, because they got so much hate that they just didn't do any more cons. They're like, screw it. I don't want to deal with this crap, right? So
yeah,
it's almost like the poison pill to run Origins. And they're They're also hyping up Gen Con, obviously, saying Gen Con is the superior, which it wins. In the end, Gen Con is huge, and Origin is not as huge, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's better now, than it used to be. It's, in the last maybe 5-6 years, has turned around.
But I always remember you saying that. I always asked why Mantic wasn't at Origins, and you always said that it was because they want the same money as Gen Con. And why would you want to Origin? Why would you go to Origins with a third the people and have to pay the same price as you were paying at Gen Con? Which is ridiculous price, by the way. Man,
sure.
For booths, we're not talking numbers here, but it's insane how much they have to pay for these booths.
I mean, I will say as a non-vendor, Origins has turned itself around a little bit, but again, it's still not up to par with Gen Con and everything. And on the vendor side, yes, it's hard for me to want to go to Origins for the money. But if you're an attendee, I could see it being better than it used to be. And the management of it is definitely much better than it was in the past. And everyone has noticed that, and it's been talked about in the last couple of years. I'd like to take some time at some point and go back and see when it actually started to crash. Was it around this time, or is it
a little later? And see if Avalon Hill and SBI end up not being involved anymore. I wonder if that's when it starts coming up, or is that when it crashed? Who knows?
Who knows?
I would think Dragon Magazine the Dragon has not shied away from highlighting that. So I suppose we could watch this unfold. Like we're right now, it's 40 years ago. We might be able to watch the like in the Wayback Machine, see these things that you remember, Pat. We might be able to put our finger on if it was 1992 when it went.
Or we'll see that all of a sudden Cask will be doing some backpedaling because TSR made kissy with these other companies, and all of a sudden Cask will be like, that was just my opinion, and we'll see if he has to backpedal again. So that was my Dragon Rumbles. We'll start with Jack. Jack, what you got as your first article?
Oh, throw it to me. Oh, okay. Well, let's take a look.
You're right there, so I just chose you.
I am right here.
And Pat's not there. Pat's just not there.
Well, what am I doing? What's going on?
See?
Why?
To prove my point.
I mean, why you say I'm not there is what I'm trying to ask.
Don't worry, Pat. He lacks object permanence. If he's looking away from you for a second, you just don't exist.
Where's Pat? Oh, there he is. Where's Pat? Oh, there he is. Where's Jack? Oh, there he is.
Okay. So we're going to... You could. That would be a bit for like a 4 or 5 minutes if you just did that.
Where am I? Oh, there I am. Ooh.
Uma, Oprah.
Yeah, that's right.
Oprah.
It's been done.
Uma.
Yeah,
Page number, Jack. Give me a page number.
Please, if we could all follow me to page 15.
50. Page 50?
15.
I know.
15.
I knew Jack would choose this one because he loves this one.
He took one of mine.
Didn't we already do something very similar to this?
The last one was actually like demons. This is just creatures from the lower planes, and I know in the lore, demons and abyssals or planeers, they're different locations in the lore. But this looks like it's not so much the frog-headed devil with a tadpole.
Yeah, these are just from. I'll chip in just a little bit. I mean, Gary Gygax himself says, with the opening of all the higher and lower planes with these demigods, there is a void to fill these worlds because these will become play areas eventually with creatures.
And they're just going to be random crazy creatures, so might as well make random tables for them.
Yeah.
Just dissidents of the world that you would meet in. So yeah, again, we here at the Dragon's Tome, we love a good random table, and this one is as random as you can get. So
yeah,
feast your peepers, everyone. It's a very small article, but
it's a nice handoff to the players or the GMs. Like, listen, we know that we just gave you a book that's going to open your game to multiple different planes of existence. Here's a chart to help you populate the world so you don't have to sit there and rack your brain for hours. What are you going to put in the third level of hell?
What lives there? Well, it's a bat-like creature with a small, multifaceted eyes and fanged mouth.
And
you go, oh,
yeah,
okay.
And it's quadrupedal.
Yes. Quadrupedal.
Bald and bluish.
Yep, with hands that are clawed. And there you go. That is Simon, the barkeep from the Lower Plains Lower Plains Bar and Grill.
It's not another plane of existence. It's actually just the Lower Plains Bar and Grill. It's on the regular plane. It's just that's the place.
Yeah, and Simon, it's all just prosthetics, cheaply made. They've got a vest with bling on it. The wait staff is singing to someone because it's their birthday, just one booth over. Yeah.
Aye. Heard it's somebody's birthday.
So yes, it's about 3 pages of random tables that you can make yourself a person, a citizen of the Lower Plains. That is my article.
Nice, Patrick O'Houlihan.
So we are going to go back to page 10.
We're going to go back in time.
Gonna go back in time.
Better not be something about snits, I swear to God.
So we're going to go to the D&D variant, Mind Wrestling, the variation on psionic combat.
Never liked psionics.
Well, neither do I. I'm not a huge fan of using psionics in D&D, but when I read this, because it was a fairly short article, I thought it was a nice alternative that players could use to do psionic combat if there's 2 psionists in the room battling each other. And it's something that you can play off to the side while the rest of the party handles their business. Because, psionists is another plane or another level consciousness, or what you want to call. So it's like almost hacking in Cyberpunk or Shadowrun, This gives them something they can do off to the side while the rest of the party is doing in quote-unquote real time around that psychic combat. So it's still a little rough around the edges with reading it, but it's just, I thought it was just a nice little alternative. I mean, I personally probably would never use it because I probably would have psionicists in my game because I don't like psionics in general.
Yeah, it's like I think the psionics in D&D really are just another version of a magic user. So this makes it a little more interesting as actual different, make it different. Because really, I remember just reading through, I think I had the psionics handbook for version 3 or whatever it was. And yeah,
second edition.
It was the second edition. Yeah, it was those. Remember when they came out those handbooks that were just there was like a fighter's handbook. There's they're all
that was second edition.
Yeah. I still have my rogues one and I still have my gnome one because
I think I have fighters and psionics.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have psionics because maybe back then I did like psionics. I don't know.
Well,
I thought I liked it. Maybe
one of our guys in our game group, he retired out of the Navy, and with his like whatever bonus check they give those guys when they retire out in the Navy, he bought all the second edition stuff. So he bought all the handbooks. So we had them to our exposure.
That's cool. That'd be fun. So anything else to talk about mind wrestling, Pat?
No, it was just literally it's just a half-page article. And I just thought, with that little chart with the posing, scoring, like tug of war kind of thing. It's a nice little. You guys battle it out. We'll be over here. Let me know who did. Because that's how I would handle it. Because I don't want to deal with psionics. If you really insist on playing a psionicist, here you go.
You go play with yourself.
Yeah. You guys go sit at the coffee table. We'll sit at the big table.
My article is on page 21. It's Dungeons and Prisons by Mark S. Day. And it's a no tears formula for getting rid of high-level characters.
Oof.
Another one of these articles. Instead of killing your characters, this time you're just imprisoning them in ridiculous prisons.
Yeah, I didn't I saw this and I was like, oh, this is going to be definitely a Rob article.
Like the one prison they describe is like 300 feet down. It's got all these things to stop them from teleporting. It's like, who would build this prison?
Like a lead roof so they can't teleport out.
Yeah, like, and they can't use telekinesis or telepathy. I can't say telepathy. Yeah, they say that high-level characters are boring because they can mow through any monster they're faced with. And I say maybe try to write a story that has drama and instead of just throwing monsters at the party, maybe make it interesting.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yep.
In my wildest dreams, I know characters are disposable. People are supposed to think that the character is dead at all times. But I could not imagine having a gaming group where you'd progress to a certain level and you as a DM, maybe you as the players have decided it's time to go to a different campaign, where your first thought isn't, okay, well, they've had this storyline they're following. This guy, obviously, he wanted to build a keep. Because, whatever.
And,
you do it, and they all just go off,
live happily. Like they made it through all this hell. Give them a happy ending.
Not like telling us that you took the old dog to a farm that wanted to, but I mean like a real legitimate story ending where you could, and everyone could feel good. This is, okay, well, they need to die.
Yeah,
I'm not just going to kill them. I'm going to torture them.
There's no happy ending for these people.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he says no tears. Mark S. Day, you are a Mark S. liar. That would aggravate the I would be furious if all of a sudden you sit down at the table. Oh, what's going on today? Well, we got a lich to fight. Well, actually, you trip and fall into a pit. A lead shield covers you over like you're Chernobyl, and that's it. Okay, thanks.
My wrap up of this whole article is DMs back in the 70s sucked. That's what we've learned. So,
or at least the ones that are friends with Gary.
Yeah, at least the ones that are putting things in Dragon Magazine. I'd love to see an article that says, I had a good story, and this is, but no, hasn't happened yet. Jack, what do you got for us?
What do I have? So we talked about the random creatures of the lower planes. So I don't have another article. I fear I do not have anything else that piqued my interest. So I will have to defer to young Patrick.
Pat, right, got another article?
I do, actually. Page 14. It weighs what?
Yeah, I read this one too, but I
dug in a little bit because one of the things I always thought was off with AD&D and D&G in general was the encumbrance system.
Oh, we never used it.
That's the thing. It was so awful that I never used it. And so this guy actually uses real life references to justify what you can do. Like, I mean, he's gotten literally, what do you want to call it? Footnotes.
Citations.
Citations.
It is like a medical journal entry.
So
it's historical documents that he's gone through and describes the weight of armor or weight of swords. Yeah.
Yeah. So like people, people say, well, you're in plate armor. You can't jump. No, I can jump.
Well, that's what he said. In the rules, you can't jump over a 3-foot gap with armor on. He's like, these people jumped onto horses. Like they can jump over 3 foot.
Which I always thought was weird too. Yeah. I mean, the system. So again, just like anyone else, we probably did. Just that rule got pushed to the side. I dug this article because he did offer alternatives, saying you can just fudge the numbers a little bit, and
Yeah, I think common sense should overrule anything. Like, obviously, you're not going to carry 18 weapons and 18 different plates armor, but common sense.
Yeah, and you're definitely not going to float if you're in plate mail. You're going to sink to the bottom.
But yeah, I thought it was funny that this article, he does citate stuff, but wasn't there a TV show? I think it was the guy from Blackadder, Baldric from Blackadder, had a show that he proved that you could actually wade through water, you don't fall down automatically. Like, he showed how you could disembark from a boat and still attack in full plate, and things like that, and get off the ground. Like, they say that if you fall in full plate, you're stuck. It's like, no.
Oh no, you can actually. I mean, there's shows.
So this guy had a show that he would just go through all these different things that they said you couldn't do, and he got in a plate armor and did it to prove that he could do it.
Yeah, I mean, the citations he puts here, they literally show pictures of people getting up and laying down in full plate, then standing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. It's just
Yeah,
obviously
so
maybe ceremonial armor would be way too heavy, and not like if you're wearing a full gold plate, but it was never meant to be worn. It's probably meant to be shown, right?
exactly.
But for actually go to war in, you're probably going to wear as light as possible that protects as much as possible. So
Yeah. So I like that article for the fence, and it just basically really does say just use your common sense.
yeah,
You know.
I like these kind of articles because they're the ones that go against the rules as written. It just says, no, come on, think for yourself, people.
Yeah.
Come on.
I do have another article. It is on page 18, I think. 18?
18.
It says it's on 18.
That doesn't look like an article.
No, where is it? It's all lies.
What's the name of it?
Damage permanency?
No, Good News for the Gaming Hobby by our friend Gary Gygax. It's in here somewhere.
No, it's not in this episode. Sorry.
Is that next episode? Did I put it in the wrong notes? Show notes? Let's see. I'm going to go to the next article. No, I think I'm just insane. It's in here somewhere. I just probably put the wrong thing. Let's go to the table of contents. Good News of Game Hobby, page 18. It says it's all lies. It's all lies, I tell you. It's in here somewhere. Gary Gygax, where have you hidden it? Where have you hidden your article? So the table of contents of Dragon Magazine is wrong. I am not wrong.
That's an odd hill to die on.
It's in here somewhere because I was like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe it's on page 28.
But on page 18, there is Out on a Limb, starting next issue. It's Out on a Limb. That's going to be a something that to keep your eyes focused on.
It's on page 6.
6.
It's all lies. Yes. So, yes, Out on a Limb be coming next week. That'll be fun.
Wow, how did that get through the editing process? Timothy Cass?
Yeah, that's the wrong page, yeah. Good news for the gaming, anyways. It's on page 6, not 18. Cask. Gygax talks about going to a trade show. The 42nd Annual Hobby Industry Convention and Trade Show in St. Louis. And he says 10 years ago, it was pretty much Avalon Hill. That's it for the gaming part of the hobby. I don't know what the rest of the hobbies, maybe train stuff, but now he said there's a thriving community of exhibitors and game companies that are represented at this trade show, and he says it shows how the game industry has grown. He's happy to see that it's a thriving industry, and I thought it was just interesting. And he does give some suggestions. If you're ever in St. Louis, you should go to what was the name of these places? There's some food outlets.
Shanghai Inn for some Chinese.
Yep, Shanghai Inn, and also you can go to a place called Antony's. Antony's is the other place.
You got to figure out if those places are even still around.
I doubt they are. I highly doubt they are. And
I'm looking at... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say next year is going to be in California, and he says he's very excited about that because it's California. It's warm. He said he froze his butt off.
I'm very curious as to... I'm looking at the list and I'm seeing like some of these companies are out of business now. Like the Armory is gone.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure 90% of these are out of business. I'm not even sure...
Game Designer Workshop's gone.
I'm not even sure if SPI or Avalon Hill. I don't think Avalon Hill's around anymore. I think somebody bought them, like Hasbro or somebody bought them.
Yeah, Hasbro bought Avalon Hill.
Yeah. So out of all these companies, and TSR is only around in name, like it's not the same company. So I don't think any of these companies are still around.
Grenadier is, and Raul Partha.
Is Grenadier still around? Raul Partha is. Yeah. It's Raul Partha is the guys from Ironwind. Is Raul Partha?
Oh, that's right. They have all the molds.
Yeah. And things like Chaosium isn't on the list, so they never went. So the ones that are around didn't go. So it's kind of funny. Anyways, it is a good news finally from Gygax. It's just some good news about the gaming industry as a whole, and I thought it was good. He didn't even throw shade at anybody.
No, right?
No.
I started to read the article and, oh, this is too positive. I can't read this.
That's my last article. Pat, you got anything else?
Yeah, I got one more, and I just put it in here because of upcoming things. And so it's on page 11. It's the Water Adventures chart for Starship Warden for Metamorphosis Alpha. And I really just kind of read this and kind of checked it out because in my head I was wondering, I wonder how long before Gamma World takes over and this becomes a chart for Gamma World.
Yeah.
It is shocking that it is still under Metamorphosis Alpha, unless it was pulled from a book, like from the source material from like a reference book. Because I don't know. I think this is not even what Metamorphosis Alpha was about. This seems more like,
because this is talking about like almost like it's a water world, but the whole Metamorphosis
I guess
Alpha
the Starship Warden has all these worlds within it. So I think that's what it is. But it is by some GM who made the game. And obviously he still plays, like Gamma World's so new, he probably doesn't have Gamma World yet, so he's still talking about Metamorphosis Alpha. I'm feeling we'll quickly see that none of these are going to be around again, and it will be all Gamma World stuff. So
yeah, because Gamma World is out and growing in popularity. I mean,
it's only been out like a year, so it's not.
Yeah, and we all know that Metamorphosis Alpha guy co-wrote Gamma World anyway, so it's not like he's shooting himself in the foot.
No, it's just Carl Hirsch is a bit of an anachronism, a bit of a throwback.
He's a fan of Metamorphosis Alpha. He hasn't moved on yet.
He's being dragged kicking and screaming into the new modern day of 1980.
Not quite. It's coming up.
And the irony here is that the next page is the Gamma World.
I know. So yeah. Jack, is that all your articles, Pat?
Yes. So we can go on to ads, right?
Yeah, Jack, you have an ad?
I do have an ad. I do have an ad indeed. Let's take a look and see. We're going to go to page 20, and my notes say at the top. So let's see what's going on over here at page 20.
It's Stomp? Is that what you're talking about?
Stomp, yes. Watch out for Stomp. $3 full color from Chaosium, and it looks like it might be a game in which you stomp on top of Lilliputians. I don't know exactly what it is. I've never heard of it. Or you're a giant. I guess that's all perspective.
Do you think this is their version of Snitz?
How dare you?
And the next one will be Stomp Revenge.
Stomp's Revenge.
Yeah, how dare you sully the good name of Stomp. So anyways, I'm keeping my eyes open. I've never heard of Stomp.
Yeah,
I saw them live in New York. It was
I mean, with trash can lids and
I know George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelics do a song version for this game.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's one of those. I think it's one of those little fun party games, and wonder if we'll ever see what it actually is. Not just a little watch out for Stomp.
Yeah, I don't know, but either way, whatever it is that's doing the stomping, it's only got 4 toes, and whatever's being stomped seems to be deserving of it. So that's just my take.
His tongue
the one guy's got his hand raised in anger. How dare you?
There's a middle finger.
It could be a giant destroying somebody's city, so I could see it.
Yeah. Okay, that's my ad.
Pat, do you have any ads?
I do got one ad, and this goes back to the article ad that Jack talked about, because I was going to talk about it. It's on page 3, and it's the 4th dimension again. And the reason I didn't talk about it is because they didn't have a picture of the game, so I couldn't picture the game. Now they have a picture of the game,
map,
and I can see it, and now I would be able to talk about the review.
Yeah, you can see it?
Well, I could see a muddy mess that is supposedly a picture of the game. I see what the game board is light up. It's like a target, so it's like a big circle.
Yeah, and it's gridded, so that's your movement like chess in a sense.
It was first released in Britain a few years ago, so this is a re-release. Local clubs were formed to play the game. The 4D Society, which publishes its own newsletter and sponsors regular meetings and tournaments. Jeez. Brits, you had nothing better to do. GW, I can see how GW succeed in that environment.
Yeah.
And this is the American edition. So all I did was take out all the superfluous U's.
Yes.
In all the words and repackaged it. That's nice. I don't know who's going to be paying $10 for it, but
it's a box set. It's a fancy box set. Remember when everything was in a box set?
Yeah,
those are the days.
if you're looking, it looks like there's maybe 10 pieces on there, and I think
Well, there's black
only
and
guessing.
white. There's black ones up there. You just can't see them.
Yeah, I'm guessing there's black ones that match the white ones at the bottom, a game board, and it's got to be a one-sheet rule set. Mm-hmm. Is that really a box set?
I bet you it's 4 sheets. I bet you it's a pamphlet. Oh, it opens 2.
Oh, it says. It says.
Two 11/17 sheets of paper folded in half.
4-page rule book and 26 custom molded plastic pilling pieces. It's easy for you to say.
Okay. Yeah, two 11/17s folded in half is the classic.
Classic. Yeah. So the fourth dimension.
So if you read the article from the last issue, and then you look at this picture, I think that article becomes much easier to understand the game review.
Yes.
Well, there you go. Any other ads or anything from you boys?
You have any more ads, or you don't have any ads, Rob?
No, I didn't find anything exciting in this one.
Yeah, I do. I got one more, and it's on page 13, and it's the Judges Guild, and this is starting to pop up now, and I finally actually took a close look at it, and this is the first official third-party D&D venture creator.
Yeah, Judges Guild is sort of third party. It's definitely sponsored by TSR.
Yeah, and they actually make they even make a travel referee screen.
Yeah, so
it's definitely third party.
Yeah, it's one of those gray areas. They're associated heavily with TSR, but they are a separate company. But yeah, they're doing their own stuff, which is cool. I wonder if I'm sure we've probably seen these supplements, Judges Guild stuff. We just didn't remember being Judges Guild because there was a lot of D&D stuff that was just generic, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm sure we came across this stuff in our wanderings through game stores.
In our youth.
Because there was tons of times you just find books that'd be like, oh, this is cool. It's got tons of maps in it, or this is cool. It's got castles or whatever maps, like, or like the one we were talking about before in another episode, all the weapons, like that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's a lot of these things, and probably extra modules. I wonder if the Judges Guild were a lot better at creating modules than TSR.
I like the TSR modules, all the old ones.
No, they were horrible.
That could be nostalgia talking, but
they were go into this dungeon, get killed, rinse, repeat.
I mean, if you play, you could minimize that as a good GM.
But that's the point. I don't think anybody played those modules as is to be successfully.
I think we would play if we play them that we would have fun.
Yeah, I would think so. The whole ambiance would be different.
Once again,
the mindset.
If you want to see us play one of those original modules, let us know. We'll do a real play. We'll have a special episode.
We'll do it on Roll20 and everything.
But we only play until one of us dies.
Well, like all special episodes, a very special episode, one of us will be trapped in a fridge that was left out the side of the road. One of us will be touched by a
clergyman.
Or the guy who ran WRP. Yeah,
and the guy, the bike shop bastard. Yep.
Yeah, it'll be one of those. It'll be real intense.
Yeah. Somebody dies in Vietnam, those kind of things.
Yep.
Anything else, guys? Are we gonna
No, sir. I think we're done.
Wrap it up a nice little bow. If you like us rambling, we do have other podcasts. Pat and I are with our friend Brian Novak over on Mobile Armor Radio, where we talk about big stompy mechs. And Jack and I are with our friend the Coach. We talk about the game Dead Zone and make lists for it for the tabletop
miniature wargaming. Yes.
So you can find one at Family Gamer 777, Family of Gamer 777. I'm sure Coach will be happy if I set up. He doesn't watch this anyways. And the other one's at Mobile Armor Radio, spelt the American way, and you could find that at your favorite podcasting place. And until next time, I've been Rob.
I'm Jack.
I'm Chopper.
It's thumbs this time. Bye-bye.